Hey guys, Tom here with Suburban Ghost Society, and I'm here to talk to you about my favorite piece of equipment, the voice recorder. Now, one of the reasons that this is my favorite device is it really opened my eyes to capturing audio during an investigation. And once you've been through the process of reviewing audio for 8 hours straight, you will learn a lot about all the noises in the room. You will learn that how quiet you must be during an investigation, all the noises that people make that they really shouldn't during an investigation. My best advice is for you to review several hours of audio, and you will subconsciously go into the next investigation changing your habits quite a bit. I think you will be more aware of your surroundings. You will announce your noises. You will be able to listen to the room a lot better after listening to audio. So that's just a helpful hint. But the main reason that we run audio during investigations is to capture every single moment that we're in there. And that could be up to 8 hours of recording. And going back and reviewing it and catching an EVP is extremely exciting to me. I really enjoy the audio aspects of investigating, and some of the EVPs that I've caught over the years have totally blown my mind. So I'm very excited to listen to 8 hours of audio, believe it or not. So let me just give you some tips on how to approach running audio in an investigation. And first and foremost is good habits. And like I mentioned, the first thing you want to do is you want to review some audio to better prepare yourself. And then good habits. Good habits such as announcing your noises, anything that you do personally. If you bump a chair, if you sneeze or sniffle, your stomach rumbles, which I'm famous for, announce that you are making that noise. The other thing is announce noises that you hear from outside, such as that plane that's going by right now, or a truck or motorcycle, that kind of thing. Bird, any natural noises that you hear coming from outside. That will help you clean up your audio. But the goal for paranormal investigators is to eliminate as much contamination as possible, to make sure that our audio is as clean as possible, so we know that when we go back and review it and we capture something, that it's actual evidence. If you don't remove that contamination or develop those good habits, you're going to have to throw that audio out, because it could be anything. So another good tip for you would be to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Make sure that everybody's properly trained to eliminate contamination. They shut off their cell phones when they arrive to the location. Get rid of the Fitbits and watches and necklaces or anything shiny. You want to do a self-check to make sure there's nothing in your pockets. Make sure you don't have your keys on you or any loose change. You want to get rid of all reflective clothing, anything that might reflect on camera, and because that is a source of contamination. So I think you get the idea of where I'm going with this, and if you practice these good habits, eliminate that contamination, you will enjoy your audio experience a whole lot more. So the audio recorders that I own are all Olympus type recorders. And I have the 853, which is this one here, the black one, and the 852, which is the silver one. And these are the three recorders that I use during an investigation. So one thing I'll tell you right now with a voice recorder, don't ever consider carrying it in your hand during an investigation. And the reason being, it sounds like you put it in a paper bag and you're just going like this, just shaking the bag. That's what it will sound like if you carry it in your hand. Everything will become inaudible and you will not be able to capture anything. Very sensitive. Voice recorders are very sensitive, so you have to, isolate them. Either set them down on something when you reach the area that you're going to do your session in, or use an armband. Now this is my personal armband, and I've used many over the years, but I found that this one worked best for me. It has a nice, large, comfortable band on it, and it is a Motorola product. And the one that I find that works the best for me are armbands that fit the iPhone 5. And this particular one, all you do is slide your arm in there and then latch it in the back with the Velcro, and you're good to go. Then you take your recorder, you hit record, and you slide it in there and you're ready to go. So I like to have a recorder on me all the time, and with this particular voice recorder, it has the dual microphones on the tops of them. So all I have to do is look at the wave file and I can determine if it was the front microphone or the back microphone that picked it up, and I can determine what direction that EVP came from. So along with the armband, I also have 2 more recorders that I run during investigations. And I normally will put one on the higher floor, on the 2nd floor, and maybe one in the basement. And this allows me to isolate them. So they're totally quiet, they're not being handled. And if I do catch something here, I could reference them also to see if I've caught it on 2 different devices, which I have on several occasions, and it's helped me validate the EVP. So that's highly recommended. I'm sure my recorder is similar to most that are out there, and they're all very simple to use. You simply turn it on, and when you're ready to record, you hit record, and it's recording. The only thing I will say is make sure that you adjust your volume down. Don't run it all the way to the highest setting, thinking I'm going to record everything at the higher setting, because it will clip. And when it clips, it'll distort. I run mine at about 25, the high end being 30. And I turn it down a little bit just to keep it from clipping, and I found that that works perfect. So just a recommendation for you there. So to record, you just simply hit the record button and you're recording. Make sure your volume's set to where it needs to be. You can set it down, put it in your armband, and you're ready to go. So if you're going to do an EVP session, I would recommend that you stop the recording if it's running, prepare your questions in your mind, hit the record button, ask your questions, leaving time in between each question, allowing spirit to respond. Once you've asked several questions, you simply hit the stop button, and then I recommend that you plug a orbital speaker into the headphone jack on your recorder. Make sure that it's up and running, and then just hit the OK button or play button on your recorder, and it'll play that back for you through that speaker, and the entire team will be able to hear what you recorded. So that's an EVP session. So once I've gathered all these files during an investigation, what I do is I bring them home and I just open up my USB port on my recorder and I stick it in my computer, and then I'm able to download the files into a folder for that specific investigation. Then I move them into my recording software. So the software that I use is called Studio One. It's designed to record musical instruments or just music in general. By moving it into the software, I'm able to control all the volume levels, EQ levels, and dial it in so I can hear it crystal clear. And then I'm also able to isolate areas within the recording and loop them. So if I hear a voice that says Tom, then I can get a loop around that, and I can play it constantly over and over as long as I want to really listen and determine what I'm hearing. And then once I determine it's an EVP, then I can take that isolated section and then I can download it and save it as a file. And then once I've accumulated all these EVPs, then I can present them to the team. So that's kind of the way I do it. If you're not familiar with music recording software, I recommend that you do some YouTube searches maybe and find out what may work for you. And I'm telling you, once you learn the software and start doing my routines as far as moving that audio in there and working with it, you're going to be much happier. You're going to hear things that you've never heard before with your audio recorders. And when you play them for a friend, they are going to be amazed at the quality of sound. So it's night and day from just listening to the voice recorder itself to moving it into that software. Night and day. So those are my recommendations for you. That is a quick view of my voice recorders and some of my habits. And I hope this helps you. I hope this moves you forward and improves your performance out in the field. And please leave me some comments on your audio experiences. And thank you very much for watching. See ya.